Welcome everyone. I'm Pranav from TechJoomla and would like to thank you for attending the webinar. Today, Parth, Dipti, Vidyasagar from our team will be joining us for this webinar. Before we proceed, I would like to give you a brief introduction about TechJoomla Education Series. A subscription for TechJoomla products goes way beyond just product downloads and support. We believe that helping our subscribers to get most out of Joomla and our products is also part of the deal. With this view, we are regularly publishing blogs and newsletters with the express intention of educating people through Subscriber Connect. With our Quick to Cart session today, we introduce webinars to our education series. One of the biggest benefits webinars like these give us and our customers is the chance to interact with each other. To enhance these interactions, questions are very important. We will be taking short breaks between some of the topics for answering questions. You can start posting questions anytime. Look out for the chat icon to post your questions. You can also post questions via Twitter at TechJoomla or on our official Facebook page, that is facebook.com/TechJoomla. The webinar will be available for viewing later via our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our channel to stay updated on the latest video content. We are also having a special offer for 15% discount to all the attendees today. The coupon code will be shown to you at the end of the webinar. Now I will be handing over this webinar to Parth.
Good evening, everybody. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. So thank you for joining us for this webinar today. We are sorry we got a little bit delayed. Google Hangouts giving us its usual trouble. We hope it's been completely figured out now and hope you can hear us and see us fine. So if you are having any trouble hearing us or any problems with the broadcast, do make sure, do let us know via Twitter, or you can comment on the Hangout post. I am now going to quickly take you through some basic features of Quick to Cart. So this is us. This is TechJoomla. In case you haven't heard about us, so TechJoomla is one of the leading Joomla extension companies doing a lot of e-commerce extensions nowadays, and Quick to Cart is one of our most popular extensions. So today's webinar is going to be about Quick to Cart. So as Pranav said earlier, asking questions is going to be a very important part of these Hangouts because it gives us a chance to speak to you, get to know you, and understand what your real concerns are. So there is some problem with the questions application. I think Google Hangouts is having some problem with that. So the best way to ask us questions would be either post it to us via Twitter, post it on our Facebook page, or what you can do is you can also post it on the Hangouts page itself as a comment, and we are monitoring that. And when we take a break for questions, we'll come to it and we will be able to take that up. So in case you're not connected with us already, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/TechJoomla. And you will also be able to see a recording of this video once we are done with this broadcast. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. These are our handles. Make sure you make a note of those. And especially for today, we have this great opportunity for you. You can use the code Q2C Hangout 15 to get a 15% discount on Quick to Cart purchases for the next 24 hours. The discount is applicable both on the 6-month and 12-month subscription options. And to tell you a secret, the 12-month option is already a cheaper option. So if you get a 15% off, that's a really good deal that I'm sure you don't want to let go of. So let's get started. We have a pretty big schedule today. We are hoping to cover a lot of the areas that typically people have questions about in Quick to Cart. This is almost like a tutorial webinar. We hope to take you through all the details and how you can set up Quick to Cart in the various avatar that it comes. And this is a quick index. I'll just quickly run you through it. So we'll start with an in-depth review of the features. Then we'll show you the core of Quick to Cart, which is the basic widget that Quick to Cart comes with, and we will show you how it works with the native product manager, how different product attributes work, how multi-currency, stocks, coupons, all that works. We'll also show you how you can set up digital products. Uh, Next up, it will be going into the depths of shipping and taxation. So we just released a new version of Quick to Cart last week, and that version has a lot of improvements. It's one of the biggest releases for Quick to Cart that we have ever done. And shipping and taxation was one of the biggest changes in it, and it's extremely flexible, and it has a lot of cool things inside. So we will be taking you through that. Then display modules, which is we have various Quick to Cart modules that can help uh, you basically set up Quick to Cart in a live professional way. Then setting up the right menus, and finally another topic which is of a lot of interest to people, which is using Quick to Cart as a CCK cart or using it to sell items from the various CCKs. So we have support for K2 Zoo and Joomla content and Flexi content, and recently community support has been added from Seblord and JReviews as well. The eighth item on the agenda is going to be another very important feature in Quick to Cart and one of the differentiators for us, which is going to be a multi-store and a multi-vendor kind of a situation. And the same thing you can take social with John Social or Easy Social integrations. And the final topic on the agenda is for developers, where we will quickly take you through the Quick to Cart API. And there is a lot of exciting things in there with which you can do mashups and integrations. And build some really cool stuff. So let's get started. A lot of things on the agenda. I'll try to make things quick, at the same time not hurry through it too much. If you have heard me speak earlier, you know that I tend to speak fast a lot of times. So just make sure you remind me if I do that too much. Just bug me on Twitter or whatever, and I'll make sure I'm not going too fast. All right, so let's get started. So first thing, feature overview. So this is something I'd like to run through. Because you can look at all these features on the TechJoomla landing page for Quick to Cart as well. But to get us started and give you a quick overview, I think this will be useful. So Quick to Cart comes with a native product manager. This is something that you can use in case you do not want to use any of the CCK integrations. As of Quick to Cart, the current version, whether you use the native product manager or the CCKs, you get all the benefits. There's no difference between Quick to Cart using the native manager or through CCKs. So feel free to make your choice depending on what your requirements are. We have a lot of CCK integrations, as I said: Joomla content, Flexi content, Zoo, K2, and Seblord. We have some good news. JReviews is also doing an integration, and we can expect some kind of release announcement from them in the early next week, maybe. We have comprehensive shipping configuration for physical products. You can configure zones and set up shipping rules in various ways. You can set digital products, downloads, music, all kinds of digital products that need you to download stuff. We have multi-currency support, so you can set up a store which has support for more than one currency. You can set up pricing in multiple currencies as well. We also support single and multi-stores. So one vendor, or even if you're using Quick to Cart in a single vendor mode, you can have more than one store in the same system. So think of a site that has a clothing store as well as a maybe store for shoes, and maybe one line for furniture or something like that. So you can have a store for each of them. Then we have intuitive dashboards for admins and vendors to quickly see what's going on, which orders are pending, if you need any action on anything, as well as you have nice e-commerce dashboards to see how well your store is doing. Coupons, both in single vendor and multi-vendor mode, means that you can run a lot of complex promotions on your store. Coupons can be store specific, product specific. You can do flat rate, percentage, everything that you can imagine. Single vendor store and multi-vendor marketplaces. So you can, whether you want to kind of start a very small site and it's a very simple store, Quick to Cart still is a good fit for you. Or you want to build a large multi-vendor marketplace, Quick to Cart can scale to do all that. And I think we have been able to achieve this while trying to keep the interfaces and the usability very simple without complicating things too much. And when we look at the demo, I am sure you'll be able to provide us good feedback about this. Next up is we have social integrations with Easy Social and John Social. The current version released a native app for Easy Social, which loads Quick to Cart in a completely native view. Then we have comprehensive taxation support as well. You can do complex tax rules depending on the location of the user or the billing location or the shipping location. We will be going through that as well. We have a nice smooth Ajax checkout that makes sure that you have minimum dropped carts. For those who are interested in multi-vendor marketplaces, we have automated adaptive split payments via adaptive PayPal support. This is another differentiator that hardly anybody has. Then we are supporting multiple payment gateways, whether it is on-site payment gateways like authorize.net or there is off-site ones like PayPal. We have comprehensive support for a lot of payment gateways. This is not even an exhaustive list. The best way to check the latest list of payment gateways is to either look at our landing page or go to the our GitHub for a common payments API. Now we'll be jumping to the demo, and we are on the second item of our agenda, as you will see on my screen. Here we will quickly see how you can quickly set up a single vendor mode store with native product manager and product attributes, multi-currency stock and coupons. So I would suggest pay a lot of attention to this section because this contains the core of Quick to Cart, the core widget, which is used again in the CCKs. So you will get a very good idea of the product from this section. So let's switch to the demo now. Let's get started with the native Quick to Cart product management. So right now in the admin area of Joomla, and I'm going into components, Quick to Cart. So the default view will take you to the admin dashboard. So in case you're going to use Quick to Cart in a single vendor mode, obviously you're not going to be needing to do things from the front end. But if you're using it in multi-vendor mode, almost everything that we have can be accessed from the front end. So the dashboard is very intuitive. You can quickly jump to various places. But let's get started from stores. So let's assume that you're going to use Quick to Cart in a single vendor mode, but you might have to create multiple stores. So the stores menu will let you create internal stores, even though they will be owned by the same user. So let's just, I'll just quickly take you to the create store form. So you can set up a store title. You can decide who is the owner of the store. So this is by default the same user that is logged in. Next up, you can set up a store description, the company name for the store, email address, contact address, store logo. So all this is basically used when we are doing shipping. So let me just show you a store that is already set up. And since the stores might be in different countries, you might also want to set the default length units and weight units. Once the tax profiles are set up, you can also associate a tax profile, a default tax profile for your store. Same thing for the shipping profiles, but we'll come to that in a minute. So this is how you set up a store. Note that even if you're using Quick to Cart in the simplest form possible, just to set up a simple store, you at least need one single store setup. So once your store is set up, you can go on to setting up your categories. So Quick to Cart supports nested categories, so you can set up a complete hierarchy of categories as you need it to be. So you see that all these categories are set up in different ways. So this is pretty simple, straightforward category management. Please make a note that this category manager only applies to the native Quick to Cart products. If you are going to use it with a CCK, then you need to use its own category management. So this is pretty simple, as I said. Now let's go to the products, because this is going to be the core, as I said, and pay a little bit more attention here. This will kind of take you to the main important parts of how you set up a product in Quick to Cart. And this also applies in a lot of ways to CCKs. So let's take a look. So you'll see that if you have Quick to Cart installed correctly, you will have a Quick to Cart options tab in your content manager. So I'm looking at Joomla content right now. So this is actually in CCK mode. So yeah, I see what has happened. So the product manager that we have on the back end actually shows you products from across all type of content management systems that you might use. So these might be from Joomla products, or these might be native. So let me just show you how you can differentiate from that. So you'll see here that this book is from Joomla content. So the client is Joomla content. I made a mistake there and clicked on it. But if I want to show you a native one, I need to click on this one. So you'll see that the client is native, while you'll see there are some from Zoo as well as some other areas. So I'll come back to it when we cover CCKs. So this is the basic native Quick to Cart product manager. So you need to fill in a little bit basic information about your product. The title, the category, which store it belongs to. If it's a single store, you obviously won't need to select it. A unique SKU. So you need to enter the SKU. The main reason you're not auto-generating it is that you might have some other SKU that you use internally, and you might want to use the same one here. So that's the reason we don't auto-generate it. You can give a price and you can give a discount price. So if you want to see that scratched out price with a lower price offered, then you can just set up a lower price here. You can set up a description. You can set up multiple product images. So you can add more product images than just one image. This is shown in a nice gallery at the front end. You can set up a YouTube link if you have a video for a store. You can also set up stock. So Quick to Cart manages stock. So if I say I have 100 items in stock, it will basically make sure that the incrementation and decrementation is done correctly when a product is sold or refunded. The minimum quantity and maximum quantity is basically in case you want to impose the minimum order quantity. In some cases, you might have some products that need to be ordered only, minimum you need an order of 6. So in that case, you need to set it as this, and the maximum order quantity, if you don't have any limits, you can just set a large number. The meta description and meta keywords is purely for SEO. You can set it up. So the native product manager is basically built to keep things really, really simple. We don't want to make things complicated and let you quickly create a store. That is why we don't have too many fields here. So if you want to use extensive fields, if you want to do a lot of complex things like tags and things like that, we recommend that you go with a content construction kit instead of the native product manager. So the next important thing is the ability to create attributes that affect product price. So let's say I was doing a t-shirt. So obviously one of the attributes is going to be size. So I'm going to create a size attribute here, and you can create two types of attributes, select and text right now. So select offers a price, select offers options to the end user on the front end. So let's say I'm doing XL, which adds $5 to the price. I'm doing L, which reduces $2 from the price. So you can set that up like that. I think there's some overlay issue, that's why it's not letting me do that. So let's say the L, let's make it XXL. That's gonna add 7. So you can also subtract it. It doesn't need to be positive all the time. So you can add multiple product attribute options like this, and you can also add multiple attributes. So I did a size, and I could do color, for example. So let's say black. And some you can also have attributes that don't affect the price at all. So that's also an option. This is how you can set up attributes. In case you are doing t-shirt printing and you want some kind of an option from the user as to what do you want written on the shirt. So let's say t-shirt message. Then I can just set this attribute to be a text attribute, and then basically the message will be, basically it will ask the user to input a text message. So that's how you set up the attributes. And you can use this very flexibly depending on what kind of a product you have. And remember that all these options are also available to you even if you do a product via CCK. I will be demonstrating that to you. Next is digital product. So in case your product is a digital product, let's say you are selling music, then you can basically upload multiple files which will be made available when the user purchases the product. You can set up a file name to display. You can also, if you don't do require to purchase, that is offered as a sample file. So you can have one or two files that are sample files. Let's say you have a music album that has 10 songs, and you want to offer the first two of them as a free preview. Then you basically can say that it doesn't require a purchase. The rest of them can require a purchase. You'll see that if I say it requires a purchase, I also need to set up a download count. So this is the limit up to which you can download it. So if it is -1, then it allows unlimited downloads. So remember, Quick to Cart is not a subscription system. This is not giving you 3-month access or 4-month access. You're better off using Akiba subscriptions or maybe pay plans if you want subscriptions. But if you want to sell digital products that don't really need subscriptions, then you can do it like this. Next up is taxation shipping, and I'll come to this tab when we actually look at taxation and shipping. But just take a note of these 3 tabs. These are available across Quick to Cart, whether you want to use it or multi-vendor mode. So let's switch back now. So I think what we can do is we can take a short break here for any questions if we have any. If you have been posting through Twitter or Facebook or our Hangouts page, I will just ask the team to pass them on to me right now, and I'll just repeat those questions and answer them. Okay, so the first question that I see is by Eileen. She's asking, when will digital preview teaser of the video before purchase? So Eileen, I think what you mean is that if we are selling digital products and if these products are videos or let's say even music, is it possible to add a teaser? So right now, as I said, you can do a full teaser product, but you can't show part of the video or part of the music as a preview right now. But we have added that to our feature tracker, and this has been requested by a couple of other people as well. So we will come to it. But as I said, for now, you can put a sample video, or maybe you can do a 10-second clip of the video and put it as a free sample. So the next question is again from Eileen, and that question is, how can Quick to Cart be offered, can be used to offer paid events for the Easy Social platform? So ideally, what we will be doing is that we won't be integrating Quick to Cart with Easy Social events. But if you have heard about a product called as JTicketing, which already integrates with Jom Social events for paid tickets, that is what will be integrated with Easy Social for paid events, and that is coming in the next version. So I think that's all. Those are the only questions we have right now. In case you have more questions, do post them. Okay, I see there's one more question from Steve. So he asks, in Quick to Cart product attributes, do you plan on adding inventory capabilities for the attributes? Steve, yes, actually this is a question that has come for the second time. And we have had this coming in for, I think, from a few other users as well. So this is definitely a high priority one for the next release. So definitely we will be considering that in the coming next major release. That should definitely make it. We have one more question from Joe. So Joe asks, with digital products, can the file come from different server, Amazon, Dropbox, etc.? So we don't have that right now, Joe, but this is something we will consider if we have more requests for it. But this is not there in the immediate plans at least. But this is something that definitely can be considered. So I see there's a lot of people saying hi. I see an hi from Hills. Hi Hills. I hope you're doing good. Alex, you are not getting sound sometime back. I hope that is solved now. I hope everybody can hear us fine. Merrick says hi to all. Hi Merrick. So I think that's it with the questions right now. So I can move on to the next. Next up is shipping and taxation. So in order to understand how shipping and taxation work, we need to clear up a few pieces of how it works and some infrastructural areas there. And I would say that this is probably the most complicated part about Quick to Cart. Everything else is pretty simple. And even this is pretty simple when you have understood it. So I would need your full attention right now. This is going to be comparatively a little bit more complex. So in order to be able to do shipping and taxation, you need to understand what are the things that impact it. So shipping and taxation are both geographically impacted. They are functions of, in case of shipping, where you are shipping from and where you are shipping to. And of course, it also depends on what kind of products you're shipping. In case of taxation, it depends from where you are shipping a product to which, from which country to what country. So if you see that the geography or the location matters a lot. So basically we introduce something called as zones, and zones are what will help you manage a lot of things as far as shipping and taxation are concerned. So let's look at what are zones, when to use them, and how to go about setting up the zones. So this section, before we jump into shipping and taxation, will cover what zones are. So this is a quick example of how a zone would be set up. So if you guys have used Virtumat at some point, then you will remember it had something called as geo zones. This is pretty similar. So you're basically collecting one or more countries or states or regions, and you're basically saying that, you know, this is zone A or zone B. So you will see in the example that I have on the screen right now, I have set up a zone called as USA and Canada, which contains the countries of USA and Canada. But remember that you can also combine one country or, you know, multiple countries and multiple states. So it doesn't mean that it always has to be a combination of you know, a country, all countries and all states. It can also be mix and matches. So basically, once you have zones set up, they help us in defining shipping and taxation rules. So a helpful tip obviously is that put countries that have the same or similar shipping and taxation requirements in one zone. So one key thing to remember, if you see in the chart, is that each store will define its own zones. So because we have designed it in this way, it means that this is also very easily applicable to the multi-vendor situation. So since each zone is defining the zones that it ships to, so effectively that's what you will do. If your store only ships to USA and Canada, you'll only set up zones that basically represent those countries. So if you understood this, I think we can go on to the demo as to how we can set up zones. So let me just quickly switch back to the demo. While I'm doing that, remember we are open for questions. The team is moderating questions as they come in. And once we have enough questions, I'll take a pause in between and come back to you guys for answering them. So I'm just opening the demos up. Please bear with me while I do that. So right now, I'll first show you how we will set up the zones and all the shipping and taxation in the admin. But when we cover multi-vendor, I'll also show you how you can do that from the front end as a one of the vendors in the system. So I'm now switching the screen to my demo. There might just be a small lag while I do the switch. So I'm assuming the screen has changed for you. Let me just stop and start again, just in case nobody got it. So right, I hope the screen is up for you now. So I'm on the backend. I'm on the backend admin dashboard, and you'll see that down here there is something called a zones. So this is what we are going to look at right now. So right now you'll see that there are no zones set up here, so we can start afresh. I also have a demo where maybe we can see something set up. So because setup demos will help us move faster. So I'll just quickly show you how it works. So you start by creating the zone name first. So I'm just going to follow the example I gave you. I'm going to do one called as USA and Canada. And this is going to apply. You'll see that the user that is logged in right now, even though this is a single vendor situation, this guy has 2 stores. So I can basically create zones for 1 or more stores. So I've saved the zone. So now that the zone is saved, the next step is actually adding countries to it. So if I would have just saved, actually I would have seen the next part. So once you save the zone, you'll see that you get a list of countries that you can add. So there we have it. We have United States. And I can choose that I only want a few regions in the United States. So I can actually say that I only ship to Alaska or I only ship to Arkansas. So right now I'm just going to say all regions. And in addition to this, I'm going to add an additional country, let's say Canada. So you'll see that I have added the country Canada and United States into the zone. And I'm now saving this. So remember that just make sure before you start on your shipping and taxation, make sure all the zones that you ship to are set up. So let me just create one more zone. Let's say I also want to ship to the UK. So I'm saving now, and I'm just going to add one country in this region. And now just to demonstrate a different example, I'm going to show you one zone which has just a couple of states. So let's say I ship to UK, I ship to USA and Canada. In addition, I also ship to two specific states. So let's say specific states of India. That's just a zone name I'm giving it. You can call it whatever you want. And in this, I'm going to add some really specific states. I'm going to say that I ship to Madhya Pradesh and I ship to Maharashtra. So we are in Maharashtra, by the way, so we need to ship there. So now you'll see that I have created two zones that are countries and one zone that is basically two states in a country. So you can also mix and match, as I said. So once you are done setting up the zones, we can now move on to the next part, which will be shipping and taxation. I'm just going to switch again to my presentation because I again need to clarify a few areas with you. So you'll see here that I have tax profiles and tax rates here. So I need to explain what these do, and for that I'll just quickly switch back to my presentation. Right. So now that we know what zones are and we have them set up, let's move on. So in order to configure taxation, whether it is multi-vendor or single vendor, you need to set up tax rates and tax profiles. So let's see what these tax rates are first. So depending on where you are, you might be liable to pay a variety of taxes. So you might have heard about VAT, service tax, local body tax, sales tax are all examples of tax rates, and you will see that they are going to be typically a function of the zone and they will differ from state to state or country to country. So once you have set up a store, the next thing you do is you set up a zone and then you set up tax rates for that zone. So we'll say that for zone 1 there is a VAT tax rate setup, and for zone 1 there is also a service tax setup. So once you have done that, you need to define all the applicable tax rates for that store that you ship to. So the next step for us is tax rates. So let's switch back to the demo and see how we can set up tax rates. So the screen should be switched back now and we can go on to tax rates. So in case there are any questions, I'll be stopping after the shipping and taxation part to come back to any questions that you might have. So let's create a tax rate. So first you need to set up a zone, and once the zones are set up, we can move on to setting up the rest of the thing. So I have something set up in this demo, so I'm just going to show you that. So you'll see that I have set up a tax rate, which is a VAT tax for United States and Canada for a specific store. So this is how it works. So VAT is the name of the tax, how much percent it is, and which zone it applies to. So that's the first step. Once I have set up the tax rate, the next step I need to do is create a tax profile. So let's see what a tax profile is. So before I do that, let's create one more tax rate. Let's say service tax. And I'm going to do everything for the United States zone right now, just to keep things simpler. But make sure that if you're shipping to multiple zones, you actually do need to set up multiple tax rates. So I'm making a service tax which is 10% applicable in United States and Canada. So now that we have two tax rates set up, let's move on to tax profiles. Once again, I will be switching back to my presentation just to show you what tax profiles do. All right, so basically tax profiles, you define tax profiles depending on what kind of goods you have. So in some cases, for example, in India, if you're shipping to us in Pune and you're shipping some electronic goods, you would incur probably a 12% VAT based on the billing address and a 5% local value tax based on where you're shipping it to. So depending on what kind of product it is and what kind of zone it is, you might have more than one tax being applied on the transaction. So what tax profiles let you do is they let you combine tax rates and also define which address each of them is based on. So this is where it starts getting a little complex. I hope you're still with me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have once we are done. But I hope this explains a little bit of it. So you have the first store, we created a tax profile, and the tax profile we are saying that tax rate 1 is applicable based on the address and tax rate 2 is applicable based on the shipping address. So as I gave you an example here, uh, for electronic items, I'm going to create a profile called as electronic items tax profile, and I'm going to set up, VAT based on billing and LBT based on shipping. So let's just see how that works in action. So next up, tax profiles. So in this case, I have a food and beverage tax profile set up already. So let's see how it's been set up. So I've created a tax rate name called as food and beverage. So here you will see that similar type of products, obviously I'm grouping them as per what kind of my tax rate requirements are. So let's say the VAT that applies, what I've done is I need to select a tax rate. So I have applied a 6% VAT based on the billing address. And since I'm delivering the food to your home, let me apply a 10% service tax based on the shipping address. So this is how you are combining tax rates based on different addresses. And you can create multiple tax profiles like this. So let's create one more for the example I gave you. So electronic. So again, if you actually save, you will get this additional button, the drop down. So let's say for electronic goods, there's a 6% VAT on the billing address, and that's it. There's no service tax applicable. So this is how you would combine things. If it's there is nothing to combine, you would just set up a one-to-one relation. That's about it. So this is how taxation works. So before we actually move to shipping, in case you have any questions, we can maybe look at them, because I know this can be a bit confusing. So any questions related to zones or taxation, I would like to take right now. So I have a question on Google Plus by Scene. I'm assuming you will support the ability to pay for Easy Social memberships when that feature is added to Easy Social. So yes, that is a safe assumption to make. But again, ideally, if Easy Social does add paid memberships, then that would be done through a subscription system, maybe like pay plans. But it is very easy to actually do a Quick to Cart developer plugin if you want that ability right now. So if you can get connected with us on email or maybe send us a detailed requirement, it can be easily done using our developer APIs. And if you're a developer yourself, you just have to use the on after order completion trigger to get that done. So we'll come back to that when we cover the developer APIs. So it is completely possible. Uh, Next question is by Joe. Can a non-registered user purchase digital products? So yes, you can. What we do is that when you purchase digital products, we send you the link for the product by email, and that is a unique link for that transaction. So you can absolutely use digital product sales and sell it to guests. So that's possible. Next question I have is from Praveen. So further to the question on serving digital products from another server like Amazon or Dropbox, what is the impact if we use a CDN for a Joomla site serving all static files? We use a separate third-party plugin to achieve this in Joomla. Would Quick to Cart work with such integrations? So that's a very good question, Praveen. So actually, it would really depend on what third-party plugin you're using, and I think all we need to do is we will just need to integrate with that and make sure that we respect any of the APIs that is calling. So one interesting thing that might happen in the future in this relation is that Joomla 3.3 brought on support for a lot of cloud APIs natively. So I'm expecting that slowly all CDN plugin providers will start using that API. And if they do and we use the same API, maybe this kind of a problem won't happen in the future. But till then, we just need to make sure that we are supporting that plugin. So Praveen, if you can tweet to us what third-party plugin you are using or planning to use, we can get in touch with those guys and make sure that Quick2Cart plays well with them. So I have one more question from Alex. So he asks, are you planning on developing integration of Quick2Cart with international payment gateways? So to answer your question, Alex, there are hundreds and thousands of payment gateways that are available. As of now, Quick2Cart is already supporting 20 plus payment gateways, most of which are international. So if you have any specific requirement for any particular payment gateway, we would definitely love to discuss that with you and how we can go about integrating that with Quick2Cart. The next question I have is from Pepper Street. She asks, I'm assuming you are a she, and she's asking, can Quick2Cart operate in catalog mode? That is, can it operate without any purchases or without any price display? And can you restrict the price display by ACL? So to answer your question, you can do this, but you will need to do it via template overrides. As for the Joomla ACL is concerned, again, we are not restricting price display by right now. This is something you can do with template overrides. So I think all the questions for now. I don't got any session yet, so maybe it's still sinking in. We can go on to the shipping part of it, and then come back to more questions later. So I'm just going to switch back to my presentation right now. So tax profiles. I hope this is clear. You can watch this video again on YouTube if it was not clear, and if it's still not clear, feel free to get in touch and we will try and answer all your questions. So actually there is one part that we actually missed out. So what happens after you create tax profiles? So you'll remember that we had a shipping and taxation section in each product. And I'll come back to this slide once we have set up shipping, because you can do both of that together. So just to quickly tell you what that relation does. Now we created a food and beverage tax profile. So you need to tell every product that if you're selling cola, then that belongs to the food and beverage tax profile. Whereas if you're selling a Raspberry Pi, it would belong to a electronics tax profile. So this basically just lets you relate the product and the tax profile. And I'll cover that demo with the shipping part. So next up, how do you configure multi-vendor shipping? So what I'm going to do right now is I showed you the zones and taxation in the backend from a single vendor perspective. What I will be doing right now is I'll be showing you the shipping part from a multi-vendor perspective. That way you can kind of, it's a mix and match. You can see, you can access the same features from the front end as well. So before we actually get to the demo, you need to understand a few concepts of shipping. So the first part is shipping plugins. The next part will be shipping methods, and finally there will be shipping profiles. So let's see what each of these pieces are. So shipping plugins is something that you do not need to worry about, at least as of now, as far as this version of Quick2Cut is concerned. So we already have a standard shipping plugin in Quick2Cut, but since we don't have more than one plugin, we have kind of made the plugins invisible for now. But once we add third-party shipping support, for example, FedEx or UPS, then you will start understanding what shipping plugins mean. But I'll quickly explain what they mean right now. But it doesn't have any immediate impact on Quick2Cut. So shipping plugins, what they do is they offer you a various variety of shipping methods that you can configure as per your store's needs. So the standard shipping plugin that we offer, basically we offer the most used and required stuff. So that is quantity based shipping per item, weight based shipping per item, uh, and the next part would be flat rate shipping per item. So the way this works is that you can set up the shipping based on any of these parameters. So you can say that, this shipping method will apply if your quantity is more than 4. So that is quantity based per item. The next shipping method, weight based, might be if only if your weight is more than 300 grams, then this shipping method would apply. Or in some cases, it might just be a flat rate per item. So all this you can configure with the standard shipping plugin, and this is exactly what we will do in the next few slides. So let's understand what a shipping method is. So if you've been shipping on Amazon or any of the big stores, you'll see that it offers you a variety of shipping methods. It might give you a more pricey same-day shipping method and a cheaper 15-day shipping method. And what kind of rate applies to you depends on how heavy your product is, where are you shipping it from, where and where to. So we'll set up an example here where we'll set up one method that offers same-day shipping and another one that offers 15-day shipping. So I'll do this in the front end, as I said. So I'm switching to the demo again. So I'm going to log in from the front end. So now this will give you a chance to see the nice looking vendor dashboard that we have. So this is the front end vendor dashboard, and you'll see that everything that we saw on the back end right here is also available to every vendor on the front end. So you'll see that I can see zones, tax rates, tax profiles, which we already saw on the back end, and shipping methods and shipping profiles. So the first step that we want to do is we want to set up a shipping method. So you'll see that I have a same day shipping method set up already. So let me just show you how I did that. So you'll see that the method name is same day shipping. It applies to this particular store. I can also apply a tax profile on this. So you might have some taxes that are available on shipping. For example, you might have a service tax that applies only on the shipping amount. In that case, you can set up a tax profile for the shipping service tax and then select it here. But I don't have that set up right now, so I'll just skip that. Next, I'm deciding what is the basis of my calculation. So here I have it set up as quantity based shipping. So here it's kind of a very open rule. So the way it's going to work is that this just applies to everything that is in the store, because I've just set this at 0 to unlimited. So all the products will get the quantity based shipping. And once I save it, I need to actually set rates. So you'll see that I have set up the same day shipping method, and now I'm clicking on set rates. So the rates are actually based on the range. So you'll see that, and these are also a function of the zone. So I'll first quickly show you what is already set up. So you'll see that for Maharashtra, from a range of 0 items to 10 items, there is a $4 shipping cost and a $2 handling fee. And in case of the United States zone, for the same 0 to $10 range, 0 to 10 item range, you have a $10 shipping cost and a $2 handling fee. So you'll see that the rates that I'm setting up are a function of the zone as well as the range between which it is falling. And just to kind of help you out, on each of the screens you'll see that we have given you some really good examples which will help you understand things better and not get confused. So let's say I want to add one more range. So I've given 0 to 10 range here for Maharashtra. Let me add one more. So let's say from 11 to 30, shipping cost gonna be a flat rate of $10 for shipping and a handling fee of $8. So this is how you add a rate. So there it goes. So I actually added two of them, so I got rid of one. So this is how you would set up a shipping method. Now that a shipping method is set up, the next thing that you need to do is set up a shipping profile. So again, as we said, shipping is a function of a lot of things. It depends on what kind of a product you're shipping and where you are shipping it from where to where. So I've set up one shipping method here. So let's say I'm shipping Raspberry Pis and these are all very fragile items. So I've set up a profile called as fragile. And now what I've done here is that the shipping provider is the default zone-based shipping provider, and the method offered for this profile is same day shipping. So just like you remember in case of tax profiles, you can basically club multiple ones here. So since I don't have any more shipping method set up, there is only one here. But let's go back and set up one more method, and then I'll be able to combine them in a profile. So let me do the 15-day shipping method. We'll call it 15-day lazy shipping. Make it applicable to the same store. Again, I'm going to make it quantity based because it'll just be easier for you to compare. So now this is the new method that I've set up. I have not set rates for it, so I'm going to set up some rates. So for again the Maharashtra zone, from a range of 0 to 10, this is going to be really cheap because it's just $2 shipping fee, $1 handling fee because it's lazy shipping. I can add an additional rate from 10 to 25, the $5 shipping cost and a $2 handling fee. Right? So now that this new method is in place, I can go to the profile and basically add this method there. So just like you would do in a taxation profile, you will be able to combine multiple shipping methods into a shipping profile. This is just to make it easier when you apply it to a product. So I'm just going to do this additional 15-day lazy shipping method to this and close this. So now you'll see that I have a fragile shipping method, shipping profile setup that allows two shipping methods. One is the same day shipping method and a 15-day shipping method. So now when I'm actually setting up products, you'll see that let's say I have this particular product and I need to edit it. So I'm in the wrong view. Let me actually go to view products. I need to edit it, so I clicked on the wrong link. I'm editing it now. So you'll see that now I have a taxation and shipping tab here. So it is allowing me to select a tax profile. So this is not an electronic good, I know, but just for an example, I'm just going to set it up as a electronic good for tax, and under shipping profile I can set it up as fragile. So now you'll see that by just selecting one tax profile and one shipping profile, I've effectively connected two shipping methods to this product. So I think I missed adding something here. So this is how you set up shipping and taxation, and I'll show you in a checkout how this works. So let me just quickly show you the checkout because we have gone through a lot of the demo right now, but we haven't really seen how the user experience for the end user is. So let's just go to the end user's perspective. I can see variety of products here, and I'm going to buy this t-shirt product. The image is completely wrong, but you'll see how the attributes have worked for us here, and I'm going to buy this product. So right now Quick to Cart is configured to show a compact checkout. That's why you see a very small window here. So let me check this out. So I'm not sure if I set up shipping for this one. So we are not sure how that will react, but let's add one more product uh, to our cart that actually has shipping configured. Because if you don't configure shipping for it, they'll get it for free. So you just need to make sure that if you want to charge shipping, go ahead and configure it. I think it was for this product that I did the shipping for. So you'll see I have two products in my cart. They are from the same vendor. Actually, they are from two different vendors. This is from this store and this is from the second store. Since I have shopped on this cart earlier, everything is filled out. And you'll see that I have India set as the shipping country. So since none of the products have any shipping profiles configured right now, you'll see that there is no shipping applicable. But if there was shipping applicable, I ended up choosing the wrong product. I'll show you a checkout where this works, but it will basically offer me two methods, which was same day shipping and 15-day shipping. I can choose which one I can afford and then go on to the checkout. Finally, I just need to review my order, confirm that this is what I need, decide my payment method, and check out. So for those of you who are wondering why there is only one payment method here, so right now we have only configured one here. So you can configure as many as you want. You can give all the options you want to your end user, and I can confirm the order finally. So this is my order summary, and I can kind of view it. So let's go back to the presentation again, and I need to show you a few more areas of how you can set up the basic Quick to Cut. I think I missed the menu slides and a couple of other slides. So let's go back to it. Again, I'll take a short break for questions here in case you have any questions. So we have a question from Aline. She's asking, do you support award of points badges to customers and vendors in Easy Social multi-vendor installations? Can you set up payment of partial or full using Easy Social points? So to answer your question, we do have some Easy Social rules that allow us to award points. We are not doing badges yet, but we do award points. We do have a Easy Social payment gateway, but we do not allow a partial payment via the Easy Social payment gateway, but we do allow a full payment. So I hope that answers your question, Aline. So do we have any more questions? So I think I see one more question from Praveen. Praveen. So he asks, do you support affiliate programs? If we use a third-party affiliate extension from joomla.com, can we integrate Quick to Cart with it? So as of now, Praveen, we do have support for iDev affiliate. Again, there are plenty of APIs available where you can actually easily integrate a third-party affiliate plugin if you are a developer. So I think it should be pretty much easy for you to do that. In case you need help in getting integrated in integrating that particular plugin, you can either connect us to the developer of Joomla that I think you said, and we can see what we can do to collaborate and give you a good integration there. So I think Elisa Sophia has one more question. She asks, is there a guest checkout possible? Yes, absolutely, Alicia. We do have a guest checkout possible, and I'll come back to a demo for it. So one more question, not sure who it is from. I think it's Praveen again. He asks, can users pay partly using Alpha User points and partly in cash credit or any other payment gateway? So Praveen, the same answer goes to this that I told Aline. You cannot do partial payments with points right now. We might add support for this in the future, but as of now, you need to make the full payment in points or in cash. So you have to kind of choose whether you want to do it this way or that. So I think those are the questions we have. So let me just go back a few slides. I missed an important point actually, which is related to setting up menus which will come up later. So okay, so the next point that we have is quick to cart modules. So we have a ton of, not a ton, that would be a excessive exaggeration, but we have a lot of modules in quick to cart that will help you present your cart better. And I'm going to quickly take you through all these modules and show you how you can use them to enhance the user experience for your user and hopefully earn a lot more money from your quick to cart installation than you normally would. So let's go back to the presentation for this. I'm sorry, let's go back to the demo for this. So obviously for setting up any of the modules that you have, you need to basically go to the module manager. I think the screen is still refreshing for some people. So hold on, let me just quickly restart my screen sharing. So it should be up for all of you right now. So just to repeat what I'm doing here, I went to extensions, module manager. And the best way to find if it's a fresh quick to cart installation, we have named all our modules by default with a quick to cart just to make it easy to find. But please don't go live with that name. Make sure you're changing that name to something more suitable. So right now, hold on, that's wrong. So I think we have done all the changes, so I can't search for it. So let me just select by type. So you'll see that I have quite a few modules here. There is the cart module, there's a category list module, there is a product display module, uh, there's a store display module, quite a few modules in there. So let me actually go to the front end. So the point of showing you the backend was this is where you actually set things up. You can configure each of the modules. I won't really go into the details of which all parameters are available for each module. Each module has its own set of parameters, and you can set up the parameters when you look into the backend. So look for both the basic tab as well as the advanced tab when you configure it. You should be able to figure things out pretty easily there. So let's see how those modules actually look. So I'm going to our Easy Social demo right now, and I'm logging in as a user. I don't need to log in, but we can see it as a guest as well, but I'm just logging in for the sake of it. So there we go. So I'm just going to go to the all products view. This is where we have all the modules set up for you to see quickly. So you'll see that this is this is the actual cart module. Since I don't have anything in there, let me just buy something. So what you see earlier, what you saw earlier was a compact view of the cart pop-up. This is a more comprehensive view. Now that I have put that in the cart, you'll see that the module has updated to show what I have in my cart. Then I also see all the store categories here. This module need not look so cramped. You can just configure the height as you require and make sure that you don't get any scroll if you want. The stores module also shows all the stores in the system. So these are all the stores. This is configured in multi-vendor mode. What you see here at the bottom is recently bought products under the module. On the left here, you have latest products. So these are latest products added. Then you also have top seller products. You also see a list of latest stores. This is obviously configured to show only the top 2 right now. You can also see the stores that are doing the best sales. So bestseller stores shows you that. So these are just some of the modules that you have, and you can basically configure them in a variety of ways. So the best thing to do is go to the backend, install your Quick to Cut. You can also do that on the demo, just in case you're wondering. Uh, we have a front end and admin access for the demo. So you can log into our live demos in the backend and play around with it. The username passwords are here. Just be aware that the demo resets every half an hour to an hour, and you might just lose any data and you might get logged out in between. But you should be able to play around with all our products from our backend in case you want to go in depth with the demos. So covering all the modules, you must be wondering what this view is. So this is showing all the products from the cart, from all the stores, and you can see that we show it in a pin view. So it's inspired by Pinterest. You can configure how much of a width each pin needs to have. So I'll cover that when we look at some of the detailed configuration options in Quick to Cut. So now that we're done with modules, we can move to the next section, which is going to be setting up the menus. So let's go to the back end and see how various menus in Quick to Cut can be set up. So I already have most of the menus set up. I'm just going to quickly run you through what menus are available. A lot of menus are already available in case of a multi-vendor situation with the multi-vendor bar that we give. But in case you don't want to use the bar and override it to remove it, you can actually create all those menus in your own menu if you want. So let's go to the menu type and just quickly browse which are menus Quick to Cut offers us. You'll see there's quite a lot of menus here. In case you want to offer front-end product creation, this is moderated, by the way. This is a native product manager menu, but if you are using Zoo, then you need to give a create item menu in Zoo with all the right access levels if you want to let people create products in Zoo. So add new products, add new store, the view of the cart checkout, the category pin view. You can basically either choose to make this view for all products, for all categories, or you can do it for a specific category. The my coupons, my downloads, my orders, my payouts, all these my menus are basically for vendors. They can basically see all these menus through the vendor dashboard as well. So I'll quickly show you that. So let me just quickly go to the multi-vendor dashboard. So you'll see that since we are on the dashboard anyways, all these menus are basically also, you can also create them through the Joomla menus. But if you use this bar, then you don't need to create a lot of them. But the main menu that you will need to create maybe is just to point people to the right place. So the menu setup is pretty straightforward. You can play around with it on our menu, on our demos, or if you have bought Quick to Cut already, then obviously you can play around with it on your own installation. So let's get back to our presentation and see what next we have. Yeah, so I think we have one question that we can take quickly before we move on to the next part. So the question is from Pepper Street. Hi Pepper Street. He's asking about marketplace and pricing options. So the first question related to that is, does the product attribute affect the price? That is increase or decrease it if option was selected. So to answer that question, yes, the product attributes can affect the price. It depends on how you can configure them. So you can have the product attribute affect the price in a positive or negative way, or you can have it not affect it at all. So if you look at the product creation flow in the webinar later, you'll see that this is covered. In a similar UK, I think the second question that Purpose Suite has is, can one downloadable product have two prices? That is, a file has two licenses marked single and developer. If a license developer is selected, choose a higher price. So yes, you can do that. In that case, what I would suggest you do is that have the product have a zero price by default and have an attribute which makes them select as a compulsory field. what kind of license you want to choose, and just set the price for single and single in the developer mode in the attribute. So absolutely you can do that. So I think that was the only question right now. So we can move on to the next part. So we saw how you can set up things well with the Quick to Cart modules as well as the Quick to Cart menus. So this is just a list of all the menus, and so you already saw how that works. Next up, what we have is setting up a Quick to Cart with the various CCKs. So as I covered earlier, we are already integrating natively with Joomla Flexi Content and Zoo as well as K2. One of the community members of Seblord has been kind enough to develop an integration for Quick to Cut with Seblord. In addition, there is some good news, as I said earlier in the presentation. We have Alejandro from JReviews doing an integration. JReviews themselves are doing an integration with Quick to Cut, and we have looked at the integration already, and it looks really slick. And looks like that integration will be out next week. So if any of you are JReviews users, you have e-commerce coming to JReviews really soon. So watch out for an update on our Twitter and Facebook feeds for that next week. So one question that people typically ask around CCKs is how do you decide which CCK to use, and how do you decide whether you want to use a CCK or you want to use the native product manager. So now with the latest version of Quick to Cart, Quick to Cut doesn't give you any reasons to prefer one of the CCKs. We treat all the CCKs in a fair and enhancing manner. We make sure that we bring in the best e-commerce to all of these CCKs. So it's absolutely your choice. You can choose based on what your requirements are for filtering the products, what kind of product fields you need. Whether you're using single vendor mode or multi-vendor mode, you can use any CCK or the native Quick to Cut. So there is no restriction from our side. Just choose what you like. So now let's move to the demo of how things work with the CCKs. So I did by mistake show you a demo of the Joomla articles earlier in the presentation, but I'll do that again. I'm just switching back to the demo now. So we are on point number 7. I think we are already 1.5 hours into the demo, but I think we'll just carry forward. Hopefully this is still useful, and those of you have missed it or joined late, you can watch the presentation later on YouTube as well. So we're just going to continue and finish it up so that we make sure that you get everything. So let me just start the demo again. So in order to see the CCK integration, you can do the CCK type setup from the front end as well as the back end. I'm just going to do it from the back end right now, and I'm going to speed through this a little bit since we are a little behind on time, quite a bit behind in fact. So let's start with Joomla articles. So whenever you create a new article, you will get a new tab that you will see, which offers you all the options of Quick to Cart in the CCK. So if you have been paying attention earlier to the native Quick to Cart product manager, you'll see that you'll get similar options here. So if I do create a product for an article, you'll see that I get all these options. I can put up item name. This is automatically copied from the Joomla article. You can set up the SKU. You can choose the store. So you'll see that this also supports multi-vendor. You can decide whether it's published or not. So you'll see that you can actually decide whether a product is published or not separate from the article. This can be useful sometimes when you don't have things in stock and you don't want to show it. So you can use it, but it's a rare case to happen. Same product attributes that you found when you were basically looking at your native product manager, from taxation to shipping, everything is available here. We also have the e-products or digital products available here as well. So let me just show you a product that is already set up to be a product. So I'm going to go to Quick to Cart to quickly find it. So as I said, the product manager in the backend shows products from all over. whether it's in the native manager or in Joomla, and this basically redirects us to the correct view. So I'm going to open two at a time. The Seven Secrets of Shiva is a audiobook, which is a Joomla content product, and this cotton half sleeve button down shirt with a pocket is a Zoo product. So let's look at the Joomla one first. So you'll see that the quick to cut options are all configured, and item attribute has also been added, so you can also add attributes here. So the user experience is a little different, but you can add attributes as well, even if you're using Joomla articles. So similar to Joomla articles, you can also do the same thing with Zoo. So I have this Zoo product edited open here. You'll see that in case of Zoo, we add an section right here where you can see quick to cart, all attributes for quick to cart. Same logic as in the Joomla article manager, we are extending the Joomla forms to introduce quick to cart options in those forms. So we try and give a as native experience even in the CCKs as possible. Same thing goes for K2. So you'll see that I have a few products created here as well. So I'm going to edit the product and show you how that works. So just to give you a bit of history, quick to cart started as a CCK cart. So earlier we did not have the native product manager, and we had to use everything with various CCKs. But as we got a lot of demand to create our own product manager for simpler implementations where a CCK was not needed, that's when the product manager was introduced. So you'll see that this is a K2 product, and we have extended this form with the additional quick to cart K2 plugin, which introduces all the quick to cart fields in the K2 item as well. So I don't have a Flexi content demo set up here because you can either use Joomla content or Flexi content at one time. So I don't have a demo set up for that, but I hope this kind of clarifies how we work with CCKs. And as I said, there are no limitations of using things with CCKs. Just one thing to note here is that you'll see in the quick to cart product manager, for products that are coming from other clients than native, the category is missing, right? The reason being that these products will belong to the category in K2 or Zoo or Flexi content, and you will use all the native views in Zoo or K2 to show those products. So I'll just give you a quick demo of a website that uses Zoo for its product manager. So this is a single window situation. I know you can't read most of this, but all this is Zoo, and this is not coming from the native manager, it's coming from Zoo. So all these are Zoo categories, not quick to cart categories. So this is a local language bookseller who is using quick to cart to sell their products, and they have got a lot of success in selling the products online. So even this view is a Zoo view. If I go in here, even what you see here is also coming from Zoo. Even this is coming from Zoo, in fact. However, the checkout is something that happens through quick to cart. So this is just a quick example of how quick to cart fits in tightly with any CCK. So you get all the best of both worlds, a really great checkout with quick to cart, at the same time a really native experience with a CCK. So now that we have covered CCKs, in case we have any questions, we can take a few before I move on to the next section. So I have a question from Praveen here. He asks, if we need to use quick to cart in a multi-vendor mode in India, PayPal as a payment gateway is ruled out because of RBI regulations. Are you aware of any Indian payment gateway providers that offer adaptive payments for multi-vendor mode? So to answer that question, frankly, Praveen, we don't have any options right now in India. Though a lot of the payment gateways in India are very advanced, we haven't seen anybody doing marketplace type payments yet. So for now, that's not an option. But what you can do is that you can do manual payments, you can do manual adaptive payments, or you can contact us via, I mean, you could use Stripe, I think, to accept credit cards, and Stripe does offer adaptive payments. So though it's an Indian situation, it does offer currencies. I don't know if it directly offers Indian rupees or not, but we can always do converted pricing and make that happen. So I see there is one more question by Joe. He needs to see how to display mobile view of the cart module. So Joe, I'm not sure I understand that. Are you asking whether this is responsive? Uh, is that your question maybe? So I'm assuming that, so let me just quickly show you how this uh, reacts in the responsive situation. So this is the quick to cart. So I've just basically resized my screen to show you how quick to cart would work in a responsive mobile layout. So this is showing you a responsive layout of the dashboard. The same experience would also work for your cart, in case Joe, that was your question. So let me just show you a quick add to cart there. So let's go to a specific product. Let me add this to cart. You'll see that even the cart is responsive. I'm assuming that's what you mean. So yeah, so I think there's a little bit of a delay, so you should see the cart right now, and you can move on to the checkout. So if the checkout is responsive, you'll see that we squeeze it up a little bit. So I hope that answers your question, Joe. So that's I think we covered the CCK section right now. So let me just move back quickly to the presentation. So we just covered the CCKs, and you'll see that we have quite a bit of flexibility here in how you can use Quick to Cart. So next up, we have covered a lot of this quickly while we were doing the rest of the stuff, but I'll just quickly give you a real quick demo of how the multi-vendor, multi-store works. And I think this is one of the biggest features in Quick to Cart and a big differentiator. And you can really set up beautiful looking and easy to use multi-vendor setups, which can be used by the average user very quickly with Quick to Cart. So let's shift to the demo. So I'm going to combine the 2 points that we have. One thing is that we have multi-vendor and also social e-commerce. So they are very related. If you use multi-vendor situations with Easy Social or Jom Social, then you can basically do social e-commerce. So let's start with the multi-vendor card. So the vendor dashboard actually explains a lot of the things very quickly. It's very easy and intuitive. So we already have gone through the setup. The same way we do it from the back end, you can do it from the front end. So this is something you do in Quick to Cart, whether you use the products from K2 or Joomla or Zoo or the native product manager. You can create multiple stores. I don't think we'll get time to go through the extensive configuration that Quick to Cart offers on the back end. But you'll see that there you can limit products or limit the number of stores a user can create. This is the native product manager, but if you're using Zoo or K2, you can change this to point to the respective stores. For the orders, so on the front end, you'll see that in Quick to Cart, basically we allow two types of ordering. You can either restrict Quick to Cart to only take orders from a single vendor, or you can allow Quick to Cart to take orders from multi vendors and do split ordering. So in case you are doing split ordering, each vendor only gets his own order. So you'll see that this order that I'm opening, even though the customer might have bought more than, so you remember the order we placed a little bit earlier, I had brought more than one product, but this vendor has only got his own product here. And you will see that I also see how much has gone as a site fee. So there is complete transparency here. This is for the vendor, obviously, not for the end user. Under the customers tab, the vendor can see all his customers. And in the future, we are also planning on adding some communication tools here so that he can do some promotions by using this database here. Coupons, both available both on the back end and the front end. You can do a lot of flexible coupons. I'll just quickly take you to the form. So you can do coupons coupons have to be store specific. They can be flat rate or a percentage. You can also have coupons that apply only to particular products. Coupons can have a maximum number of users, maximum number of users per user, and you can have validity dates as well. So each vendor can create his own coupons. We make sure that those coupons apply to only his products and not anybody else's products. So that's what we have for coupons for multi-vendors. Next up, we have payouts. So Praveen had answered one question whether we support adaptive payments in India. So in case there is no other payment gateway that does that, you can always do manual payments for adaptive. And there is a payouts manager available in the backend. So I'm just switching to the backend here. So the payouts manager basically makes it very easy for you to calculate payouts for your vendors. If you're using adaptive payments with Stripe or PayPal, then this part is completely automated. But if you're using manual payments, then you can keep a record. You can say that I need to do a payout to Tech Demo 1, and it will automatically calculate what did user here. But in case you don't want to do the whole payment in one go, you can just say I'm paying $1,000 right now, and I'm transferring money by bank, and this is the transaction ID. I can set this as paid. So the payouts manager will maintain a complete record of what your payouts are. Of course, you need to do this manually, but we try and make it as easy as possible. On the front end, now that I've made a payout, assuming I'm logged in as Tech Demo 1, you'll see that there is a payout that has been made to me. I see that overall the total amount to be paid to me is 3,200, and out of that, this is what the transaction situation is. So it's very transparent and easy to use. So from a multi-vendor perspective, you'll see that we covered a lot of the areas, and let's quickly move to the social card section where I'll quickly show you a demo of the Easy Social apps. And then I think there are quite a few questions that we need to answer. I'll move to that just after the social demo. So I'm just moving to the Easy Social application. So if you're using Easy Social, in the latest release of Quick to Cart, we introduced a completely native Easy Social experience for Quick to Cart. So if you go on any user's profile, you'll see two menus that are available in Easy Social, which are due to the native Easy Social applications for Quick to Cart. So one is the user's products, and the second is the user's purchases. The user can decide, you can decide whether you want those to be core applications or you want each user to decide. But basically, effectively, this allows you to start selling stuff from your Easy Social profile. So you see, this is my Easy Social profile, and I'm showing all the products from my stores here, and I can also switch from one store to the other from here. So you'll see I can also buy right from here. You can also see the purchases that user has made. Of course, this is depending on whether the user wants to show it or not. And he can basically decide which apps he wants to switch on and which apps he wants to switch off. And you can check out, of course. So we have tried to give more or less a native experience in Easy Social, at least for showing the products. And we are working with the Easy Social guys as well as listening to the community as to how these things should work and how better we can work on those. So just like you can do things in Easy Social, we have an application for Jom Social as well. So let me just quickly go to that demo for you. Yeah, and one more interesting thing actually in terms of Easy Social is we actually do a lot of things in relation to the social integration. It's not just showing the products, but as some of you asked earlier, we are already giving you the ability to use Easy Social Points as a payment gateway. You can also award points to people based on what they're doing. In addition, we also do activity stream integration. So depending on what people are doing, so you'll see that you'll see some activities here. So Tech Demo 1 just brought the product this from this store. Uh, Same thing with adding new stores, adding new products, all that is also pushed to the activity stream. So all this basically helps your store go viral very quickly, and everybody knows what's happening around with stores with that. The same integrations are also available for Jom Social. So let me do a quick login. So you'll see that in case of Jom Social, we basically show this as a sidebar app. You can see my purchases and my products here. The same experience of being able to buy from this location is possible. Similarly, we also do activity stream integrations for Jom Social. I'm not sure if we have anything that is latest here, but if you just play around with the demo, you'll be able to see it if you do a checkout. So that's just a quick overview of how multi-store and multi-vendor works. And I've already covered commissions for you. So let's take a few questions. We are almost at the end of our session. The only thing we need to cover now is developer APIs. So we'll take a few questions at this point. So we have Hillary asking us a question. So can one add products via an uploaded CSV and download CSV too? So Hills, as of now, we do not have a CSV upload support, but we are working with something called a CI, and we hope to add a importer as well as hopefully a migrator from other carts for Quick to Cut, and this will most probably come in the next version. As far as downloading CSVs, that is available for orders, but that is not available for products as of now. So this is something that will come in the next version when we do the importer as well. We have one more question from Joe. He asks, where will a sidebar show card be displayed in a one column responsive view? So I think, Joe, this is more of a template thing than a quick to card thing. So in a lot of templates, what you can do is that you can set up a module to show in the sidebar. So what you can simply do is that in the responsive view, you can publish the quick to cart module to be shown in the sidebar menu. So I think that should solve your problem there. So I see where your question was coming from earlier. So that is more of a template thing. Next question I see is from Steve. What type of PayPal adaptive payments are available? Whether it is chain payments or parallel payments. So right now we are doing chain payments. We are not doing both. The reason being that we had actually tried things with parallel earlier, but it does not work in some cases. Chain we found to work in all the cases we need because of the way refunds and everything needs to be happening. So I hope that answers your question, Steve. And feel free to please post follow-up questions. We can absolutely keep answering them. So I see there is a next question from Elisa. What about applying German laws to the store, like terms and conditions and weight-based prices? Uh, so Elisa, I think from a terms and conditions perspective, we do support applying store right now. We have that on a global level, but I think that's a really good input. We will definitely on a store level. It should be pretty easy to do, and we will try and do it in the next version. I think there was one more question that Elisa was asking. So you were saying besides the German laws related to the terms and conditions, but I'm not sure what you mean by weight-based prices. So when you say weight-based prices, is that in relation to shipping or is that something else? If you can just give us some clarifications on that, that would really help. You can either just post a follow-up update or you can contact us via email. Next up, I have one more question from Alex. So Alex asks, does Quick to Cart allow front-end order management? So Alex, yes, absolutely it does. But if you're in a multi-vendor mode, the vendor can only see his part of the order. So in case you're still seeing my screen, I'll just quickly take you to that and just quickly show you that. So if you go to the multi-vendor dashboard in Quick to Cart, you'll see that there is a orders view. So this is completely on the front end, Alex. And here we are only showing confirmed orders. The reason being that sometimes the payment is going to the admin. So pending orders, there's no action needed on the vendors until the payment part is resolved from the admin's perspective. So right now we only show confirmed orders on the front end for the vendors. All right, so I think that's it with questions right now. So I'll just quickly move on to the next section, which is going to be the developer API, and then we can take any final questions that you might have. So just before I do that, in case you haven't understood how commissions in multi-vendor work, you'll see that I have an example here for you. You'll see that there is these smiley faced guys who are vendors in the system, and this first guy is a rich guy. He has 3 stores. There is a shoe store, there's an electronic store, and there is an apparel store. Obviously, he has multiple customers, and the same customer can buy from both his stores. And the way the commission works is that if it's $100 product price and you have set 10% as a commission, then 10% commission goes to the admin on the site, and the $90 goes to the vendor. With PayPal Active, this is completely automated. So to answer one of your questions, I think Steve had asked it. So in this example, you'll see that the vendor is actually liable to make the delivery of the product. So if we do parallel payments, then that liability would be lost. That is the reason it's a chain payment, so that in case the vendor refunds the product, then the admin doesn't need to be responsible for the commission. Once the product is refunded, the commission is also refunded. So I hope this will clarify some things around this. So we have already covered social cart integrations. And finally, what we have is the developer API. So Quick2Cart has been built to be flexible enough to allow developers to sell actually anything. So you'll see that how easily we have been able to integrate Quick2Cart with multiple CCKs. And there are lots of projects when we have used Quick2Cart to handle our checkouts, whereas the product management was done in a completely different situation. So we have a lot of API hooks, and I'll just quickly show you where on the site you can find them. So just a quick list. We have an API to create stores. So if you want to automatically create stores with a PHP API, that's possible. Some of these APIs are not documented yet, but documentation for this is coming really soon. But the code is pretty easy to navigate. So if you actually dig into the code, you should be able to find these. We have an API to create products on the fly as well. You can also add products to the cart using the API. So for example, let's say we had a situation where we have integrated JTicketing with Quick2Cart in a custom project. So the way the flow that the client wanted was that they wanted to sell an event ticket and also sell some add-on products with the ticket. So there we were basically using all these APIs, and you can do similar mashups. In addition, we have a extensive list of API hooks and event triggers to do pre and post processing in Quick2Cart. Plus, Quick2Cart is built on Joomla, native Joomla MVC, so it's pretty easy to extend and override as well. So we can open up to questions right now. I'll just quickly be going back to the browser to quickly show you where you can find the developer APIs that are documented. In the meantime, we are open for questions. Since we are pretty late, we'll only take 2-3 more questions. So we have one more question from Steve. So for So Steve is asking for chained PayPal payments. Can you set whether individual vendor or site owner is the primary receiver? So in this case, as I said, Steve earlier, since the vendor is responsible for the product, he's made the primary owner, primary receiver. Otherwise, the site owner would be, swamped with refund orders, which he won't be able to manage. So that is the reason he's the primary receiver. So I think we have a clarification from Alyssa related to the German laws. So she says in Germany you have to show up prices per weight. Like if something costs $4 for 125 grams, you have to show up all the prices per kilo. Okay, okay. So that's actually a very interesting problem. That's the first time we have come up with that. So Alyssa, if you can kind of connect with us offline post this webinar, because I'd like to have a proper discussion with you and kind of understand a few case studies and few use cases as to what kind of products this applies to and how it would look in a real world situation. We can definitely look at complying with this specifically. So I think that's all the questions we have for now. And thanks a lot everybody for attending. This has been the longest webinar we have done, I think. Uh, so thanks a lot for attending and being so patient with us. We have a discount for you. Do not forget that. Uh, Make sure you take advantage of this discount. Note that the coupon code is Q2C Hangout 15. This is only available for the next 15, sorry, for the next 24 hours. So hurry up and get your copy of Quick to Cart before it expires. And a request for all the people who are already using Quick to Cart, if you have not reviewed Quick to Cart yet on the Joomla extension directory, please leave us a review. It would really make our day. Thanks a lot once again for joining us. See you soon in the next Hangout next month. Thank you. Bye-bye.